Edin Komo Efa, the happenings in the Ashanti region. That's to do with the shutdown of a Oyerepa FM. Odike and the controversy that is brewing as to whether Menchia had authority to have called for the shutdown of the radio station. I have sat here and asked the question as to why the GJ is silent, why the National Media Commission is silent, why the Ministry of Information is silent, why the Interior Ministry is quiet, and the steps that ought to be taken to resolve the matter. Pay nkoma yene nana sama hene edi nkomo e wo dwumadi enso no wakache say ene they are hoping say woman radio station for no bedi nkomo so that woman ebetimi ebie no my omo adwuma. We are hoping that that would be the case, but there's a lot that people are talking about with respect to their ekoso ewo eye Kumasi. Minia ya obe menu elmenchen sanso na minia Andy can come and so mencha no pe yene omo ebedi nkomo. Andy mokwaba yeah, good morning.
Morning, Sam.
Bibi abokode.
Yo.
Na pedi aize munya obi afape na ojojo bibi, obi afape na ojojo bibi.
Baby, I would fan.
Baby am dey fan. I munim that I say baby I dey now.
Raymond, never there most artists. No, most starting.
You, and my family chassis.
I don't family chassis.
Yeah, chassis. Yeah, chassis. Shutdown for your part. But the Kings and smile quick and the actions taken by Menchia. A home sense.
Well, some year betcha na yachia a T4 near 4. Yada oba de say. Now what you mean to say na yachia na yamiasa na daroma yetimi asan aba betena ase nti eda na sese wa hwe nyina so na wama ya sundwie odike Menchia Oyerepa Media Commission, Ghana Journalists Association, Ministry of Information, and all the stakeholders. Some me jidi say as a senti ase ye na adwuma. Nti ase be na adwuma as a radio station no ehu kwan be fa so mbe yo enema. Na nananom so a ombo Kumasi Traditional Council so. Ono so be hu kwan be fa so a ombe won niema. Isan say radio station no e obotaye baako say onum e boa ma Kumasi man anasa Asante man atumi atumpon. Enyo omobotaye ene say ombe tu anamo bi anasa ombe ye ade a ebema Asante man enimegu ase. I mean, that is never the intention of any radio station, irrespective of community na radio station no ewo. Ena nananom so menjini se omo so ombotaye ene se omo empese Kumasi man anasa Asante man betumpon. Enti no na se omo sorry ana bi omo ka se omo to radio station. I mean, that was not the issue. Sebi you say mpayimfo se bibi anka papa enje krede. Bibi ko asem de ko siye oro dike ne ko gina so ekoka na ensem ena emfa obo ebimu akutia. And of course one yenuan more radio stations and more media practitioners or more Asante region, and in particular in Kumasi Township no on be cultural say in Kumasi and in Ashanti region sebi ye buamamre enti ne say o ka asembia say o de sebi kakra to ho asembi wo ha wo hia clarification ansana wa babonten aba beka enti megidi say abra odikoka kika ne nsem no nananom frɛ radio station payinfo mo call no so a course ene ne afima ba say radio station no in the end they had to close, but I'm hoping say because ntia manya ene say enano pay no they will be back on air to start doing their work. But addition ma ye nyina say Ghana yemra emma say bi nana bia kwan na so hene bia kwan say on sorry no ne nkrofo enkoto radio station mu. But that is where the issue really is. communities ni bi ho a ahemfo no anananom they matter. Enti no se woka asem bi na etia nana ebi kra ohene no ankasa na se nana no ankasa no enkasa mu nko eye friend say ontu anamo na mu nkrofo a wo mo krom ho no wo betimi atu anamo probably without the approval of nana. Enti omumie hwe kwan befa so a yebetimi ananti Asanteman koso entima radio station ho saa so na Asanteman koso entima Kumasi Traditional Council ho. And I'm happy say Ghana Journalists Association and Money Media Commission for per the statement issued differently no almost say nyame ya aduma and they mbetu anamo no Money Kumasi Traditional Council for akwakoshia, and me sure to say the Ministry of Information too is also engaging the Traditional Council on the best way out, because because in the end we are all there for the purposes of Asantema development. Ena odike so unse krum ha say no ho Ransford Jampo wrote an article and I say we cannot denigrate or disrespect our chieftaincy institutions. Because they are very significant partners as far as development of Ghana is concerned. Enti untimi enka and also on sorry now you and on sebi you unkan say hunu bia esan say when your radio station say ujan radio stations intino ubi wa na kan say hunu bia de akire ohene bia. Yes, no krese ye him for no bi mo am misbehaving. And no krese asase ba ko mo to amanipa be enan. And no krese ye him for no bi no galamsey na ekoso no no krese ebimu ehya ase. And no krese sebi say hunu bibra ekoso ewo my Ghana mu bebre na ye hemfu bi no hya ase. But it can also no be say ye hemfu no nyina na hya ase. We have quite a number of respected traditional rulers in Ghana. Sebi apart from so omo ya hemfu no omo professional your friends knowledge, omo professional experience. Obeka the late New Jamin, your friends, Dr. Oti Boatin. At a point, he was a government statistician. And he said, such a person, you can't just open your mouth and say, because when you're a radio station, so you also want to say something that is pleasant. And I say, any no cray. And he baby a boo, young farmer, because you are mamre, you're Ghana for you, your mamre. And also, so interest, said you, Nana, and I say, Nananum, your former. Most of some family running shamus, because your marano, ma nana bia kwan. Ghana say and say radio station, you betuma Gisabia NCA on the basis of say we boom raso, and I say be a court to say, one day and I say, would you my dear no, idea a beha or minor sundry. Without these two ways, say, no, sir, one fair this and in Yama Menu, you can't, an individual cannot just wake up and then go to a radio station and say, Monto radio station because Maka Sametia, as soon as I answer Benti. Enti, Nananum, any radio station for you who say, your butter air back compare. Say, your call a Santimimo and Botana air back compare, Botana say a Santimine puntu, and an encancro. Your boy my Ghana more, or my Ghana and puntu, or my Ghana sundry, and on my Ghana and cancro. These are the basic things we all try as much as possible at our levels, try to work towards a friend say attaining that we say goal. Nti ye into ye adjubre no bi ntimi nya n'adwuma na so ndwe mra Asanteman ma so ndwe mra my Ghana na fe babi a nyina ye betimi kakra bi kine aye na omana timi akọ nanim no yetimi akọ.
Andy mame embra ho
so me da say no chia for achia and today once again let me commend you for at least ensuring that this your platform is not provided for people and their quest to also contribute to the discussions to engage in any form of vituperation on people. I commend you. That is the responsible practice that we are talking about. Sammy, let me say chapter 12 of the Constitution is dedicated to the freedom and the independence of the media. Now, if you read the relevant articles in there, there's also a mention of the fact that we should also be responsible in whatever we do. In the discharge of our duties, in our quest to inform, entertain, and educate people, we should be responsible. Just like as I indicated earlier, you normally call us to order, you ask us to retract when we make some comments in classroom. And so it's unfortunate. The Yoruba network, I know some fine gentlemen there. The producer, Kojuan Kuma and co have. So I was surprised or Montimian Fred, because I've been listening to them. I mean, and but it's unfortunate. But you see, some is about the case utterances. You can't just make such a damning allegation of magnitude without substantiating. And if you recall, May 2021, when under the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, almost started a dialogue series on this small-scale mining and how to end Galamsey. So my first one was at the Accra International Conference Center, and
Ashanti region.
Fine. So with your kind permission, let me just read. I will deal with you, Otumfuo warns chiefs involved in Galamsey. And this is the report. That Asantehene Otumfuo Osei the second has vowed to deal with any chief who is found to have engaged in illegal mining. Speaking at the first edition of the Regional Consultative Dialogue on small-scale mining on Wednesday, May 12, Otumfuo charged the chiefs to take responsibility and help protect the country's resources. Quote, on my part, I have already warned my chiefs and elders against participation in such illegalities, and I will not hesitate to strongly sanction such infractions, he stated. And you see, he went on to say, sir, they will do their part, but it needs this concerted effort by all relevant stakeholders, government inclusive, to end the menace. And Okambibi, sir, if we don't speak the truth, we'll keep deceiving ourselves with countless dialogues to no avail. So you see, ODK being, it's not just, when it comes to the body politics of this country, ODK are having stood for some elections now. Won't mean yet statement trasa. If you have any evidence, given what the Otumfuo has said, right? He believes that we must speak the truth to authority, and that even if his chiefs are involved, I mean, just expose them, go and give relevant information, back it with some evidence, and the laws will deal with the person.
But just to pause you, at this same year, okay, I said there was controversy about the speech that is Nana Otumfuo Osei the second read. No, say more the crata be breme, the speech that he read. I say he won't go by that speech, but he's going to say what he has to say.
Yes.
And it's at that point that he made some of these comments. But at that gathering, he admitted, say, about 30% of them are more than more. They are either involved in the Galamsey activities or know people who are involved in it.
Yes.
He made that statement.
Yes.
Odike says that it is that he references, say. So what I said, them one more than 30%, only more, either some more year Jumani be, and now say one more F1 for some more ABR. He hasn't seen an action. Stop it.
What has he also done as a responsible citizen?
Mining activities.
Listen, what has he also done as a responsible citizen to help the traditional authority nip this or curb this menace? Yeah, he spoke from the point, and listen, I'm entitled to to conclude on this note, say, ebi a wonim, ahemfo no bi a omoye. What prevents you from, reporting them to the appropriate authorities for sanctions to be taken, right? But uba na ubeka na uni any evidence. I don't think that such things should be allowed.
I totally disagree with the tone and posture and body language of Odike in the submissions he made. I have made that point clear. But the substance of the issue, no worries, you know. Senia, ya mimbisa, andi mimbisa. Say, no say to ene. Okase galamse. Usia no kwa ensi. Okase ne. Obiya njaya ensi.
Obiya njaya wa hen.
Galamse ewa Ashanti region.
Listen, I think that.
What did not happen?
I think that no.
70 to 80% success.
You achieve 70 to 80%
exactly.
Success. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
but you see, maybe one day, you see, okay, the last time we came here, we had this issue about Kenneth Damwa. Say, which means a good case, how you communicate it.
Yes.
It could be, say, Odike, how he went about it, probably. And again, also, what kind of engagement? Because Sebi, Same, my friend Idi Abonte, Idi Agro Abonte, Sebi, Omoka so Monwe home. But empaying for the Sebi, ye Kasa, and I Kasa Bedwama. Ye careful, we are measured. And send you be send you tune for okay in this engagement with chiefs and then Ministry of Lands in relation to Galamsey. Probably they wanted him to say something else. So you will be and Kobit Maka say, Momo de Ababe to man in Semin say. But his son, entity, Nyansa, and your friends say, send you see Bonnie Brent, you know. Kind of fast or see Mokrata and their men kind. So you and I now have to guess what probably is contained in that crater. Enti ubetumi anya case, ubetumi anya what's betumi ayede. But some one can here and the assembly bedroom. And in relation to this media thing, there's this quote. I say when the media is free, when the media is free, it is always irresponsible when the media is free. However, any attempt to also enforce media responsibility also makes it less than free. When the media is free, sebi ujayana sebi you can't say hunu bebre. Say hunu intimidation and so bebre eba. Then so oye wadwen say oh maya fa kwan a ese say fa so a in a way no so oh kan ya hye.
But nam jinsi bi jina odika but ya media engineer media hono. Ye me kuni no emfa processes and to akwan mu. Se media ni bi efumu waka asem boni bi afa ho a. Are there promises, are there not procedures are?
We're coming there.
I was here first one. So be edifame o. Obi twa ntro to so a processes in the hodada.
O say no there is these things are known and it's common to everybody. In a central for maybe you haven't been taken to court by virtue of the work that you but Andy and I can say for instance, I have gone to court on several occasions. I have gone to other bodies and sometimes based on introspection, who realizes oh Charlie, I think I said so you go behind the scene and go and plead for forgiveness or go and plead for out of court settlement. It happens and there are processes. But we say Sebio obi wo ho a o ka semfa andi ho a andi beka say oh okay let me go to media commission. That could be the first option of which he is entitled to. He may also decide say okay let me go to court of which he is entitled to. So options now are available to him no. He may decide to exercise one of those options. And under normal circumstances probably if I were Kumasi Traditional Council ebia anka me frɛ adwumayɛfoɔ na bitwi omonim wie no that would be the end of it if I were Kumasi Traditional Council. But afutu omodemo am say bia omo adwuma ma omo nye omo adwuma kusi we say no probably it was a step too far because whether we like it or not yebekɔ so de enidie ama nananom yebekɔ so de ebu a fata ama nananom. But again, like Ransford Jampo said in his article, nananom should also not abuse that process. It sounds like Ghana has said, court and a bit Miaka say ETV and I say Happy FM. Manamontu anyway, no, a day. A bit me the basabasayaba on my Ghana, and because of that, you know, we are ordering the station, the closure of the station. And I say media commission. Per the law, no radio station or no radio station is supposed to go beyond a 40-kilometer radio. If you go above that, you have offended the rules. And so on the basis of that, probably after several warnings and engagement, if you still go against that, you can also be shut down. Beyond these two, obibia obefa obepasa mienu we ya hon be ya de foforo no. There's any parent them brand and that emra is not, I mean, that person has no right to exercise your friends and the law or take the law into their own hand and then do the things that pleases or satisfy their interests. So I disagree with the closure, much as Odike's attitude and posture probably was also offensive and appears to undermine the integrity of Kumasi Traditional Council. There should be a common ground, and then we all move forward. Because, sebi, ubajun so go na so, ucha, papa, and you move on. We have offended people severally, but hey, we all have moved on.
Andy.
So let me say, this issue is in twofold. I'll be the last person to support people given their privileged position by the virtue of authority to abuse others, right? Same, as I said, we also urge and advise responsible engagement by all of us. What I'm saying is that Odikena Semana Wakayan today, when it's pushed to provide evidence, can he provide evidence that will stand the test of time in any court of competent jurisdiction or before anybody? See, when you go on air, yes, Sammy, myself and you, we've heard reports in the build-up to the 2020 elections. Reports are massive MPs, especially in the Ashanti region and blah blah, were engaged in Galamsey, MCs and DCs. Sammy said Yakanye, and we treated those as allegations. Right? I think that we went ahead to call on government, said, these are the dominant allegations coming, said, your appointees of government are engaging the illegal act. So, please, take the fight within to your people before you come out to say, the youth in town are doing this. So, when we allow people to make comments, very reckless comments, very, very reckless comments, damning on our traditional authority, we'll be going, it won't be proper. Because in time past, when you said there were days, you won't even visit certain forests or go to fishing or blah, blah, blah. All those things are there. They are, we say, they are relevant. And then, don't we have some close season, people don't go to fish at all and blah, blah, blah to see? Yes. So, yes, perhaps the Kumasi Traditional Authority should have, for me, exhausted all the appropriate means. One, the NMC is there. I think that they called the management of Oiripa, the station, for which reliably I have spoken to some of the gentlemen that they are going back to meet the traditional, Kumasi Traditional Council to have the issues resolved. I don't think it will be in the interest of Asante Mine that a station that is there to help the whole area based on one infraction. So be a better BBA. Because if you listen to the Utum Force, I think so, their only problem with Oripa was that they allowed him to make those statements on their platform. If they had come out like he did this morning, calling on, say that, Master, sign one card here, Master, we dissociate ourselves from your comment. I don't think they would have gotten this far. But the point is that the station is there to help propagate the good news of the region. I mean, what is VAR, the Sun fails to reveal, they will throw it out, they will inform, they will educate, they will entertain people. So for this one, they should just tamper justice with mercy. And near Bekane said, not only Nananom, going forward, laws are not made for fun. What do you say? And so if will be afum, be IABB atiawa. I think that there are appropriate means for redress. And the legal process is there. Let me say, Nananumu GJA, they have their representatives or the regional chapter in Kumasi. So ebia mutime frɛ GJA branch no ho na money omukasaya, and they will call this issue will be resolved. But I feel so many BBA. I mean, the national body is there, and then subsequently the NMC. But I was happy. It's very refreshing to hear somebody like Mr. George Sapon, the executive secretary of the NMC. I mean, saying, sir, they've been in some engagement with Nananum, and that they'll have the issues resolved. Same as the Albert Jumfo-led team. I'm told reliably today they will also make an appearance there to ensure, sir, I mean, in Nananum's quest, what you say, to ensure, sir, people don't malign them and get away with it. They don't infringe on certain rights of the people, and then the law. A breach of the law is what we are all guarding against. But Sammy, I also want the NMC, the GJA, and other relevant bodies. They shouldn't wait till a radio station is closed down based on some infractions or engaging in some professional conduct, and then they'll run to their defense making all manner of statements. We are in this country where people engage in naked insult on live television. I will repeat those words. Is that responsible journalism? And we don't hear them talk about it. I am challenging the NMC, Albert Jumfo, the president of the Ghana Journalists Association. From today, they should be monitoring all media platforms, especially the television one, where people come and then engage in vituperation, attack people and get away with it. Listen, for me, Sammy, unime, ukase kankamu hunyefa, I don't have a problem. Unisika, I don't have a problem. But anything that will assassinate my character, Sammy, that is the only thing we have. You must fight it. You must fight it. Sammy Eshen. Yes, it's because of the need that you've carved for yourself. It's because of that integrity tag. That is why people would like to associate with you. And even your platform. And so, if we allow provided platform in the name of media freedom, independence of the media, now media houses are recruiting Crawford. Now all is that it's about insult. It's about insult. But Sammy, we should also be looking at it. I think that many ya better ya discuss David where the politicians, politically exposed persons, and then more radio stations, right? And so they are championing the agenda of their various political parties. And so it's all about insult. But Sammy, I thank God that this platform that I associate myself with and all my colleagues, there's one thing that highly will speak of the platform that, listen, we are wine cry, and you goofed, you'll be allowed to retract and apologize. And so when we are coming here, we are clearing our minds. You must be prepared. You won't just come and say something and get away with it. What do you say? So, Sammy, what I'm saying is that, in as much as I'm saying in all humility, you feel say near a branch and a car, or the car, and your papa no. I think so going forward no. Some further engagement with relevant authorities, I'm having a supervisory role over the media no, would have solved this matter without Obi saying it's just amounting to censorship and.
I mean, can headline now.
Yeah.
And I thought I'm tone near cool tone being a one meeting common, but I am a fan. GJ slams chiefs for banning Radio Ada from Asafutufiam Festival. GJ. GJ condemns ban on Radio Ada. Imposition of restrictions on Radio Ada unjustifiable. Affront to press freedom. GJ. Is it not interesting that we haven't had a condemnation from the GJ regarding the closure of Oyerepa FM?
No, last week they came out. There was a statement.
From GJ?
There was a statement.
That
they think that the decision by the Santeman Council was an affront to, press freedom. There was a statement. That is why today they are making a follow-up. There was a statement last week. But you see, the Ada FM issue, no? Sammy, ne yaw, ne who say yeah BB. Now I say you are not invited. Will you force yourself? They are not saying that you shouldn't broadcast. You shouldn't operate within the locality. They say our festival, we don't need you there. Are they saying that they are banning all the media houses? No, Graphic was there. Other media houses were. We said this Ada FM. We don't want you there. Do you have to force yourself? You need not to force yourself. In fact, I followed that Adan issue. I think that the station had, or the traditional authorities feel said they've been publishing some negativity about them. The station doesn't represent their interest. Yeah. So we don't need you at the event. Finito. You understand? But
I don't know. You find that okay?
Why? Don't come to. If I don't invite you, you want to come to my event. Then he said that all media houses shouldn't come. Graphic was there. I saw GTV, and so it depends. So you see, you people should have.
But you agree?
Neighbor, y'all can maybe say those of us in the Inky we say. Yeah, to me, sometimes we get it wrong. Yeah, court. We use behind the scenes, then we apologize. Out of court settlement, now the DIO. Okay. Sammy, what I'm saying is that we must also urge responsible journalism. I've just said it. So I may say after the program, my friend, my president, Albert Jumfo, say, listen, now put a team. They should be monitoring, especially the morning show programs, TV, radio, and those engaged in naked insult, attacking, assassinating the character of people. When you ask them, you push them for proof, they have nothing to show.
Andy, it's interesting that you say that you've seen a statement.
They came out last week.
I haven't seen a statement. I haven't.
Yes.
I am even. No, listen. I have gone as you were speaking. Yeah. I've even gone to the GJ's official website. There isn't anything like that there. Yeah, one statement from the GJA.
There was a statement last week.
There is no statement, Andy.
No,
there is no statement. I've been to Twitter. I haven't seen anything like that. The only thing I've seen is the one which is coming this morning that they intend to go to Malaysia. I haven't seen any statement. I haven't. There one statement be.
I mean, this is the statement of also Ghana Journalists Association will meet the Kumasi
That is
Traditional
all.
Council on Monday
That is all.
over the closure
That is all.
of Kumasi base.
That is all.
But
That is all.
that is the statement, and
Yes,
that's not
but
a statement.
no. This is not a statement.
What is it about?
I find you see me.
So
And
okay,
that's why this
now
morning-
we are journalists. I mean, beyond the fact that you are the host or the moderator of the program,
Yeah.
we are all journalists here.
Yeah.
And we have one thing, which is that the integrity of our profession is protected, and that integrity can be protected by, first and foremost, us, by way of the way we engage, the way we go about our things and stuff. So we expect our mother association, probably by virtue of where we are coming from, that we are expecting some militant or combatant statement condemning and all those things. But the question is, for how long are we going to be in that militant mode?
No. Yeah. For instance, if you listen to that Odike interview, you could see clearly the host of the show trying to guide Odike in his utterances.
Again, also, you see, we should acknowledge one thing, and no matter how people will take it, I will probably have to say it. In Kumasi Township.
Is it? What I'm saying, sir.
In Kumasi Township.
What I said, sir, during the shutdown, the regional branch of GJE issued a statement to that effect.
But you can't me so
It's here. It's here.
Come on, me.
Because I heard a gentleman.
What's the headline? What's the headline?
And the Kumasi Tradition are expected to meet over the latest blah blah blah. And also the directive is in response blah blah. But the GJA president in the Ashanti region, Kilisili Hope, would rather they said a petition. What he said was that, and I heard him on a news bulletin said he feels say the traditional council should have written to the NMC or use the relevant bodies. I heard him. That was last week. Before the mother body echo committee. But see, Samine Yao can say that is what I'm saying, sir. That particular network, I know the guys there. They are fine gentlemen who will not allow people to come use their platform. I mean, make comments very disparaging of others. I want to be substantiated. So it's unfortunate. But you see, Sammy, Nyaya can say, in as much as we are urging our traditional authorities to exercise some restraint, anytime Obi make statements, let's also urge responsible journalism. I'm not in reference with oil power, but across. And Sammy, when you are going to mediate, and there is a conflict and you are going to mediate, I mean, you don't go with that fighting posture. And that is why Yahoo can say, you expect the GJA to say, GJA blast Ashanti Council.
No.
Then Grand One, you know, you see, why go back from Pamu?
You see, yeah.
See, don't also forget that there's something we normally say that they are the custodians of the. I don't know the custodians of the land. Why is it that if government call you Bibia, I will say, I'm going to pass and say, huh? So, Sammy, we are not saying that people in protecting their institution should adapt this censorship approach. But
You think they censored them?
what they did by not allowing the Europa FM to be on air for some time. I mean, talk about the revenue lost to the station. You understand? I'm talking about the monetary, we say, and ebia eno na obitie anopa bi. Ansa ebia nipa no OPF freedom no na bama bu. Ebia nyum bi a obetie wo ho. Ana those morning devotion we say some kakra bi na what they are we say news bulletin obi so it's a great loss. But all these things, it will shape us better going into the future. that in the discharge of our duties, we'll be mindful of the microphone idiom.
Well, I think that is feeling that's why I'm about happy morning show. So, also with me actually watching I won't come out here, so through your Facebook wall, Twitter handle, YouTube as well, Instagram, and the handle no ETV Ghana, and I say happy 989 FM. Say Kobase and ne nananom ebo so Andrew Womo no mo ekase oyirepa yembie mene nana panyini bako edi nkoma no ka kirem so mato omama a friend say odike deadline of enne to appear before them. Already odike no indicate say nya de obeko bia because the officer the pabonfo bi ransake and the only who ni say nananom na ma obi about ne so nti ono de enya de obeko bia sa yaw say ekoba ne say nananom so ombo so ndwo mo nti ombo station na. What will be your reaction?
I'm not sure as the Bible for instance says, our fathers sin and are no more. And we are paying the iniquities. We are paying the price for the iniquities of our fathers. But certainly, I'm not too sure it will be, that would be a bit too low. Because you see, you can't, you can't onuma omobuana o my Ghana any kumaseman etimi konanim we say yina ye gitum say ye ba ye ka ahenia the Ashanti Kingdom stands out in Ghana because of send omosia bo mo hommode ama your friends say o mahenie no agina any kroya ewom. Indeed, if all other regions in Ghana have that kind of strength, sene asante man e wona me gidi se nka niema bebre na ebia mo bi njima no nsisim na so but ebia nka nse hunu bebre na ekokoso no ebia na nka ana obebrase to some extent enti sebi you asem si say a same komodie bebre koso behind the scene enti nananom enyina with the case refusal to appear before them as a basis to say your friends say no they can't. And if they do that, that will also in itself as a wasam ayede, wasam yede. Now one behave who ye na fear man for say oh. And I'm not too sure say none will want to get to that point to the extent say almost say Odike ma. No, Odike is a man of his own. And Osanso Asantini, and they can do whatever they want to do to him. But the radio station there, omoji omon phones so assume probably say be omama Odike ba ho all can abra all can asem no or mama no option say either so betwea sign and access ankomodie we twaso. And indeed it has happened in several instances. We call radio interview, you make a comment, the host will ask you cannot justify this comment, so either you apologize and retract or we have this interview terminated. And so you the person there no you exercise the option. I'm not sure on the basis of what they have gone through, what has happened, and South Sudan akwasono. So I'm stretching beyond and honestly, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, carry Mandi and San Wabemo. We a 1992 constitution and America. Also, all customary practices which dehumanize or are injurious to the physical and mental well-being of a person are prohibited. I say every person is entitled to enjoy, practice, profess, maintain, and promote any culture, language, tradition, or religion subject to the provisions of this constitution. Say, yeah, your man penny, language a man for use, it's a man penny. Language a man for use, it's a man penny, or my ba acro. Say, but so many reacted to a comment that have been made on radio stations. Say, TV stations, they are shutting it down.
Does it make it right?
No. So what happens then?
So there comes a point that people must be told the truth. Listen. Given the attack, with regards to the attack on Odike's office, are the police not investigating? Have they concluded investigation on the matter? Yet he's saying that what? He's alleging, right? That he suspects the traditional authority.
But he has even
Can you imagine that?
Will be credit.
So intransigent and reckless on his part.
I said driver be a friend 40-40 or yeah.
Yes.
So now the police shouldn't look anywhere. ODK has the solution.
Yeah. No, Andy, the point I was building was this, which you didn't make me land, is that if the man recognized as the #1 gentleman of the land, they have suffered several abuses. They have the powers of state at their beckon. So, taking actions and decisions, and yet they have exercised tolerance towards these media houses over the period. Should same not be expected?
Sammy,
no, I'm not.
Listen. A politically exposed person, a chairman of a party from a region, and making some allegation against former President Mahama. When former President Mahama asked his lawyers, instructed his lawyer to write the police CID, you saw the reaction. Sometimes because of the politics. Obinko jira baby na won can be binfa omampeni Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo. Now Ofe say no, this one let me use the law. Let me activate the process. I mean, comments and crophobic can chrome hano. So sometimes because of the politics, but I am not saying that is right. I am not saying that it is right. We must nip that in the bud. But you see, the traditional authorities, they have decided, say, listen, you won't make such a disparaging comment and get away with it. You have assassinated our character and just go. If you have some evidence, probably, if you go before Nananum, right? Either to go and plead or whatever. If you have some, have some evidence to what you are saying.
What will be your reaction? What will be your reaction to Anopayeti Hanum Senedi Komoina Ga Traditional Council? One must say Anopay, Yemi and Science and Mayaka will show we say so. And Chayi are more. The first, one more banish Yemi and Sa from the Ga Traditional Council, and a two, one must say a year Happy FM and shut down operations. What will be your reaction?
Reaction what? Say Rebecca,
why are we engaging in?
We don't engage.
No, yeah. The reason why I'm saying so.
No.
The reason why I'm saying so.
No. Those references don't.
As
classical as it may be, we don't need it on this platform now. Let's talk about DK and his intransigent position stance on this matter. To the extent, say one appropriate institution like the Ghana Police Service with their ballistic experts are investigating matter. You just came out to say, you know this person who is behind that attack on your office. Are you helping matters? Are you helping matters?
But who say me near Audu Mahama sending me a message and I pay Audu so far message I did bring me no hype. For the can account for because me say hi na bani give be actually. For the other side the can no for can hope na me kan answer na mako breaking because me was just a few minutes answer na mako breaking no. I feel me who so type na for bring na me kan for ma omanfo ne into aso. But yeah, the reason why I'm asking all these questions is that would we not be emboldening any other traditional authority that may decide to take an action because someone who lives within their confines.
No, listen. Okay, take it, I'll come. Don't go there.
Sammy, whether you like it or not, before radio stations, before 1992 Constitution, our traditional chiefs were there. And they have been operating. Your my yeti cruso and Krubi out is to be an as a baby will be an amamre ewo. Amamre ewo baby out tibia. And Tisebi untimi and cassette me a radio station and I'm a newspaper. Meti bono traditional area. Now, sorry, your job is to demonize. Your job is to undermine. Your job is to work against that traditional authority. You don't expect a better cooperation. Because at the end of the day, you have a goal. The traditional authority in Ashanti region or the Kumasi Traditional Council, say Kumasi man bejina, and as Asante man bejina. And that is also the goal of radio station. And in this case, we are not even looking at it. Is not the radio stations has come to the spotlight because of the fact that it was their platform.
All right.
It was their platform.
And how the message number two finally?
And yeah, your friend say so. The
radio station will go ahead to read the message live on there. we all the same me say men kan and na say all the same me say men kan ento afidie so. So men kan to afidie so men kan to afidie so say for my personal consumption so my me who say my personal consumption. But we all know Audu is part of the family and Audu sits here. Well, mommy go ahead and can was it I just wish politicians were able to deal with recalcitrant journalists like the traditional authorities are doing. There is so much stupidity on our airwaves. And my response to you would be, say, if the politicians were handling journalists the way Oyerepa FM has been handled, you'd have been the same people who would have been saying that press freedom has come under attack. No. Because politicians are shutting down radio stations and TV stations for foul languages which have been used on them, as much as the Constitution makes provisions for them using the National Media Commission or the law courts.
Has been shut down for
inappropriate language.
For inappropriate language.
Yes. Which radio station has been shut down?
Oh, sir. Oyerepa. So more.
Oh, no. You see, Sammy, you are missing the issue.
It
was because
somebody made a comment
on the platform.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It was a comment.
Sammy, you don't allow those comments to be made here.
Me, I don't allow.
So, and you listen.
But how about a day, a best sleepy through ABA at the time, for instance, Nipa make his comment, my mind was not on it, and so it slipped through, and then somebody decides to take me on, and that person, that person will.
First time, Sammy, why you'll be forgiven?
But are you also suggesting that Oyerepa has been making those comments?
No, that is not. But Sammy, I said that I know the gentleman
ahead of a 2016 election. Oti MPB and friend Sanja Nanja.
Yeah.
You heard his case with the traditional council. I didn't my uncle say to hell with them. When he messed up with them and they asked him to apologize and he declined, what happened? They mobilized and they voted against him.
That's voting against him.
But it's a punishment.
Or I would not I would not have a problem with
because politics.
But anyway, Mama Menko, but let me just quickly under 30 seconds because I may not have the privilege of having you in the studio again because of the commercial interview I discussed with you that I was going to have. 30 seconds, wrap up comments. 30 seconds. Men call long, 30 seconds.
Me wrap up comment. It's my hope, sir, the meeting between these relevant stakeholders with the traditional council would be positive so that for a part that I know them will come back on air. But Sammy, I cannot leave this platform without commending the efforts of Serene Insurance, a member of the First Sky Group, for chalking such a feat. The best insurance, the fastest growing insurance company and in the country. Were able to recapitalize 57 million Ghana cedis, and I think that just 5 years in the industry, Sedi Eric Utoche and his group, we are doing well.
What's the cost of LPM?
Officer, for the LPM he has done the 8,000 Ghana cedis to 10,000 Ghana cedis. Yes, the traffic department. And yes, I
get invoice to the company.
I have budget for 8,000.
But your friend is saying, me obviously, my issue was going to be more on the CD and the wahala it is giving us. But unfortunately, we don't have time. But hey, Governor of Bank of Ghana management, Minister of Finance, and all the stakeholders, something decisive and drastic ought to be done. Now
that we have the money, we have the $750 million now. It's just they should use the money for the purpose.
Listen.
Let me
mention Andy. There's something called a capital flight.
Do
you know what capital flight is?
Good.
The state of the state of Lagos has a population of about 30 million. If they decide to engage, so that's 750 million within a week in Ebesa.
Thank you, yeah.